Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. Uh, this is Eric, Corrupt Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back. Its thing runs for 81 minutes long. It is directed by Nicholas Pesci. No, don't worry, he is not any way in shape or form related to uh, the legendary actor Joe Pesci. Pesce instead of Peshi. Okay. It is produced by Jacob Wasserman, Josh Mond, Antonio Campos, and Schuyler Weiss. The script, like I said, was written by Nicholas Pesci, and it is based off of a book by Ryu Murakami. What does that mean? Your connection is unstable. Okay. Yes. Yeah, her name is Sofia Subercasio. That's like I said, it's a really cool last name. If she's listening, which I probably doubt she is. Anyhow, the stars of the movie are Christopher Abbott, Maya Wasikowska, Leah Costa, Maria Dizia, Marin Ireland, and Wendell Pierce. So back in 2016, it was the first time I actually was introduced to Nicholas Pesci. If you're a diehard horror fan, you may know that he actually directed the very crafty and very bloody movie The Eyes of My Mother. This just showcased the director's tendency of creating a stylistic atmosphere that's very, very reminiscent to the 1970s noir films, combined with scenes that are definitely saturated with violence. But instead of trying to be different and inventive in his style of direction, Pesci just rehashes the blood and carnage with the 2018 movie Piercing, which was, of course, based off of the novel, like I mentioned before, by Ryu Murakami. Once again, Pesci doesn't offer any mercy to those who are weak at heart. So my personal advice to you, unless you have virgin a virgin stomach, this is something that may not particularly be recommended to you, because there are some pretty gruesome scenes in there that's just very, very hard on the eyes. Okay, so the characters here definitely exhibit how pain is their pleasure in both giving it and taking it. The technical features in Piercing is definitely highly impressive, but the atmosphere tends to outweigh the actual plot. And it feels like Pesci is more obsessed with creating elements from Murakami's book, which is about glittering surfaces, than a diabolical drama. The story goes a little bit of something like this. Reed, played by Christopher Abbott, is a loyal family man to his wife Mona, played by Leah Costa, and their newborn baby daughter. In the opening scene, we see Reed sporting an pick. Looks like he's ready to strike at his daughter. But then when his wife actually walks into the room to kiss him because she thinks he's going out on a business trip, he hides the ice pick and just doesn't seem like he's like ready to actually do the deed. You see, At first glance, you think he's a loyal, devoted family guy. But in the end, it turns out that his modus operandi is definitely far more sinister than we even thought. Reed definitely has a dying passion to murder his infant daughter, but needs the confidence by methodically killing a prostitute, which includes inviting her into his hotel while practicing the art of S&M before, and then he'll go for the kill. Reed seems to be aware of his deed as he makes sure his fingerprints aren't noticed and keeping his evidence clean. However, things don't go as planned when his escort is on a late arrival and Reed has to settle for another prostitute who goes by the name of Jackie, played by Maya Wasikowska. While still going by his deviant plan, we discover that Jackie is actually just a statistic, as he's unintentionally lured into an evening of submissiveness and torture, as they both seem to like taking it as much as they love giving it. When I think about these two leading characters, both of these characters are majorly disturbed individuals. There is no denying that these two people shouldn't even be out in public. The only difference between Reed and Jackie is that Reed's insanity seems to be more subtle and methodical, while Jackie, she's just plain insane, over the top, and sometimes it might probably be natural that people do have these kind of tendencies, but sometimes I think she may overplay things a little bit at times. Pesci seems to have a liking for the Italian cinema of noir films from the 70s and the 80s, especially with the likes of Dario Argento, combined with unorthodox stylistics and surreal surrounding that's displayed where the characters reside. The big city landscapes is, created by miniatures. With its archaic style of entertainment and grindhouse-like quality, Pesci offers a myriad of celluloid delight, knowing that most of the settings in this movie are situated with only 2 rooms, and it's pretty basically just a 2-character themed movie. There's only really 2 characters in this movie. Everybody else is practically just either insignificant or don't really add very much to the movie. It's basically just 2 main characters, Reed and Jackie. As well, the only 2 performers, Christopher Abbott and Maya Wasikowska. And the setting seems to take place mainly in 2 areas. Well, first of all, it starts off at Reed's family house, and then the hotel room where he's attempting to kill a prostitute in order to gain confidence so that he can finally kill his daughter. Those are practically maybe the only 2 main settings. It seems Pesci is quite pleased with his creative craftsmanship while making every detail as grotesque and disgusting as possible. And sure, the film is a sight for sore eyes and sick stomach. It might be something worth doing. But the attention is not only focused on that. Piercing shows us no apologies for its dark atmosphere. The opening scenes shows Reed as he actually attempts at murdering his infant daughter by pointing an ice pick at her as he prepares his upcoming endeavor as a killer destined to take down matters of his members of his family. I'm sure the scene is macabre to look at, but it is the right catalyst for the dark journey ahead. Reed is no question about it, a sick, twisted individual, but his obsession for the kill makes his motives and character show he's very unsettling in his disposition. I'll let in on the sound effects with horror backgrounds as Reed awaits his potential victim. Reed doesn't know that Jackie herself is facing issues of her own, but is still willing to go along with the torturous fantasies her client desires, while showing she has an unhealthy desire for self-mutilation just as much as he does. And it definitely usurps Reed's twisted desires. And sure, the endless game of cat and mouse can get on people's nerves. There is some domestic intentions from both Reed and Jackie, with a prostitute who has succeeded in making the predator become her prey. In other words, once he knows what his plans are and that he blew his cover while being involved in these sudden, the hunter has now become the unfortunate hunted. And sure, the main weakness in Piercing is that Pesci has trouble filling in the 80 minutes that this film runs. The filler consists of hallucinatory tangents that definitely can be quite repetitive. It's truly worthy to look at, as Pesci ensures the derangement is downplayed. So although, in the end, this definitely is one of these low-budget horror films, it's not horror in the fact that you're expecting to see ghosts or apparitions or anything. We all know these two are both majorly in committing these heinous acts, while at the same time are more than welcomed in giving out these acts. They can take it as much as they could give it. That's the main focus here. And although the cinematography is low budget, it's still very effective. The cast is not very big. There's only really like two main players. But there's still, a lot to enjoy if you're a horror fan, but it's not really going to be all that memorable. It kind of reminds me of some of those old cheesy TV movies that used to be on stations like ABC, NBC, and CBS before they stopped doing that. But still, as low budget as it seems, it's still a pretty effective watch because of the unpredictability of the characters, so that gives some entertainment value to that. But other than that, I wouldn't fully recommend it, even if you just want to watch it as a one-time only for curiosity purposes. Then I guess maybe it would be okay. It's a really okay at best type of thing, maybe good for one viewing. But if you don't want or wish to see it again after one viewing, or you think one viewing is enough, that's kind of pretty much what this movie stands as. So if I was to give this a scale out of 10, I would definitely give Piercing a 6 out of 10. Okay? So I guess this ends my ride review. Thank you all for listening in. If you wish to subscribe to my channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to leave a comment, go right ahead. But just remember the 3 simple rules. Be kind, be courteous, and please refrain from any rude comments. And I will be back again with another movie review. So until next time, this is Eric Red Riders saying, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.